Hello, good afternoon once more. My name is Mr. Bokangjut Akem. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the installation of day-old chicks, especially broilers. How do we go about that? So once more in our channel, we talk about agricultural and livestock activities as well as agribusiness. It is very, very important because that is actually what feeds our nation. 70 to 75% of the active population in Africa, in Cameroon, is involved into agriculture. So it is very, very important that we talk about agriculture in our channel. So today we are going to talk about installation of day-old chicks. How do we install day-old chicks? What is the procedure? So here we are going to talk about it. So without wasting much time, we are going to dive deep into the topic of today. So before you carry out your installation, you must have maybe acquired or maybe passed your command in a hatchery or where they are producing the old chick, maybe 2 3, depends on the period. You can pay and then they give you a time that come after a month. So if you know that you have to maybe receive your birds tomorrow or after tomorrow, they tell you, okay, we are bringing our birds. Let's say today it's Monday, we are bringing our birds on Friday, or maybe they are bringing, it depends. They are bringing our birds after 2 or 3 days. So we have already done the disinfection. We have disinfected our brooding room. We have disinfected our poultry. Everything is set. So now we are waiting for our birds. What do we do? So 24 hours before, you have to bring in, maybe you have already purchased your wood shavings, you have purchased feed, everything is okay. So you bring in your sawdust or wood shaving from, especially it should be from white wood. It should not be from wood that will instead come and cause respiratory diseases to your day old. So a wood shaving from white wood is preferable. So when you bring in your wood shaving, you have to spread your wood shaving on the floor, especially if the floor is concrete. You spread your wood shaving on the floor. You install your brooder. Some people they can use maybe charcoal. Some people use charcoal. Others they do use gas. Some people do use electricity. They use bulbs of 100 watts for brooding. It depends on your heat source. So all that has to be installed. Then it has to be like that for at least 24 hours, so that the temperature there the temperature should not be cold. The environment should be warm. So you have to keep that place warm for at least 24 hours. If it's charcoal, you have to put on your charcoal. If your bed starts, they have to bring the beds maybe during the day or maybe in the morning. You have to 24 hours before the place, there should be maybe your charcoal should be burning, or maybe your gas should be burning, or maybe your bulb should be on, so that when you bring in your chicks, they will easily adapt to the new temperature. It should not be an area that is cold. You bring in your chicks, then the brooder is off, or maybe there's no gas, there's no electricity, and everywhere is cold. It's going to affect your chicks. So what you do is that you have to keep your brooding room, or maybe your source of heat, it has to be providing heat. If it's their 100-watt bulbs, they should be on at least 24 hours. You should put water, they should be feed, so that when you are bringing in your chicks, if the heat source is already there, your brooder, your drinkers are there with water, and then the water actually has to be fresh. You don't supposed to put water inside, because if you put water inside with the heat source, the water will be hot. So when you bring in your chicks, the first thing is that your brooder should be there, so that the place should be warm. The wood shavings should be warm. Then the feed should be there. When you bring in your birds now, you open the cartons. Normally what you do is that you have to count. You have to cross-check and see if actually a carton is 50. The mortality, you register. If you have any mortality, you know the number that the number of chicks that you actually brought in. So when you bring in now, you have to open the carton. When you open the carton, there are normally 50 chicks inside. At times they put 51 in case of any mortality. You remove them, you place them on the wood shaving. When you place them, you will see they'll be running around. So when you bring in your chicks and remove them carton by carton, and then you put down, you mix um, an anti-stress. There are so many anti-stress, but the one I can give you, I can recommend is tetracolivit. Tetracolivit, I'm sure, is that is a good anti-stress. It's 1 teaspoon per 5 liters of water. So you give them at least for 3 days, because during transportation, those chicks are stressed up. So you administer water, you mix the anti-stress inside their drinking water, and then you put it around. Then you equally give them starter feed. You can use their plates, their small trays that they use for day old. You put so that the birds can easily have access to those feeders. When you put your feeders and then you install your birds, you observe their behavior. How are they behaving? You have to observe. That is the most critical period in broiler production. Very critical, because if anything goes wrong, those birds, since they are very fragile, so many of them, they will be the mortality will be high. So when you must have installed them, you have to observe minute after minute. Every time you have to come and look, see how they are behaving. If you realize that the chicks, they are going closer to the brooder or the heat source, automatically you realize that the heat is insufficient, so you have to increase it. So when you realize that most of them, they are running away from the heat source, it therefore means that the temperature is high. You have to regulate, you have to reduce it. So when you observe that the chicks are evenly spread inside the brooding room, that shows that the temperature is okay. So you have to observe like that. There are situations where you see the chicks will run to a particular corner. They will run to a particular corner. At that particular time, maybe something fell, or there is noise somewhere, or maybe there's breeze, there's rain. It will cause them to run towards a particular area and crowd it. In situations like that, you have to really avoid it, because it causes stress, and then it is very easy for you to have a mortality of more than 200, because when they run towards an area, one particular corner of the brooding room, some will climb on others, and then a lot of the fragile ones will die. So those are the situations when you observe like that. Every day you have to take down the quantity of feed you administer every day. If you give maybe 10 kilos, you write 10 kilograms every day. The quantity of water, every day you have to take down. If there is any mortality, you register, so that at the end of maybe your production cycle, it will give you a clear vision. It will give you a good idea, or if you know how much money you spend on feed, the quantity of feed that you use, the quantity of vaccine that you use, the quantity of antibiotics, in fact, drugs that you use, labor, everything. It will help you to analyze that particular activity and see if it's profitable. So in a nutshell, that is how you have to install your chicks. So subsequently, we'll talk about rearing, maybe from the first day right up to the 45th day. After that, now we'll talk about vaccine. In our subsequent videos, we'll talk about vaccines, we'll talk about administration of antibiotics, we'll talk about the kind of feed, starter mash, grower, and finisher. The protein content of grower, the protein content of starter, and the protein content of finisher, as well as the energy level. So when we must have discussed in our subsequent videos, we'll come out with a tool. I'll present to you a tool that is being used to analyze all the activities. If you have so many activities within your farm, you may have a small maize farm, you may have cassava, you may have any other crop that you have. It will help us, that particular tool will help you to analyze and see how much money you are putting in a particular activity, how much that particular activity is generating as revenue, the labor, then you see the internal transfer, or what leaves. If you have a maize farm, the quantity of maize that is leaving your maize farm to the broiler activity. So we thank you. I thank you very much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Like, share, and comment so that it will actually help us to improve on subsequent videos. Thank you very much.